What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and in today's episode of the Fighting Game Tutorial Series, we are going to be going over more character improvements, cleanup, and upgrades. So in the previous episode, we went through the entire character C++ class and the character files and removed anything that was old or outdated, and we also cleaned up some of the logic, comments, spacing, and things like that we've been neglecting throughout the series. For those of you that are watching the series in full, you'll notice that the last few months of episodes have been dedicated to cleaning up different systems such as our cameras, our character, our widgets, and other features like that. We're going to have this episode to clean up the characters further, and then we need to clean up the hitboxes, the game mode, and the anim BP. Once all that is done, we are ready to tackle more complicated systems like online play, Foley, all the way through. So specifically for today's episode, we are going to be tackling something that I personally am excited to tackle, which is move right and move right controller. So we have two methods of movement in our game. We have keyboard inputs, or what we call digital inputs, which means basically on or off. So this is going to be most of your keyboards and other things like button presses. Then we have analog inputs, which are things like joysticks that give different amounts based on how much you're pressing them. So if you have a controller plugged in, only give half of a direction or 75% of that direction instead of on or off. These are analog inputs. We support both in the series, but we have two functions and they're very complex functions, whereas we only need one. So we're going to go through completely eradicating move right controller and just allowing move right to handle every scenario, both for keyboard and digital inputs as well as analog and controller inputs. Now before we hop into this episode, if you want to see how we've done everything in this series, from our attacks, our hitboxes, visual effects, projectiles, and a lot more, I'll link you to the entire playlist right here in the top right corner so you can see all those fun mechanics. New episodes every Sunday. Alternatively, if you just care about the character upgrades, I do recommend you watch the previous episode of character upgrades because we did do a lot of cleanup. And even though it doesn't directly affect today's episode, it is going to be important to understand why we're doing this cleanup and why it is useful to do these things before getting into bigger systems so we don't have to do more rewrites later. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. So this is a code and blueprint tutorial series, but we are going to be focusing on the code today, specifically our character class. So we can go to our code, and we want to scroll down to our move right and move right controller functions. So the first thing I want to do in this episode is consolidate our move right and move right controller logic. So the only real difference between these two functions right now is our dead zone values. We have a check where we determine if the controller is a gamepad or not, and we use that to kind of filter out our movement inputs and function calls. But when we consolidate this to one function, this won't be necessary, so we don't have to worry about that logic right now. But the logic that is important is this section here where we're checking to see if the value being passed into the function is greater than 0.01f. This is a dead zone check, so basically we're saying, is the value that's coming into this function either positive or negative to represent, moving left or right? And is it above a certain threshold? Because on an analog input, such as a thumbstick on a controller, we may want to filter out some of our inputs if there is only a very small amount. If the stick is just pushed like 2% of the way to its maximum, maybe we think that the controller is drifting or could be a misinput. There's no real need to have two functions just to check different values here. We just want to make sure that we're using the move right controller value because the digital inputs such as the keyboard will always have a value of 0, -1, or 1, and so they're always going to be outside of the dead zone range. I'm going to copy all of the values from move right controller, which is 0.20f or 0.20 or 20%, and I'm going to use that for all of my checks in move right. Once that is done, you can go ahead and completely remove move right controller. Yes, that is correct. Completely remove the function. We're going to remove it from the CPP file, and then we will remove it from the header as well. And I'll update some comments to accurately represent what is going on in each of these functions. Now, additionally, in Move Right, we can do some cleanup just to mimic what we did in the previous episode where we keep everything on the screen without having to scroll. So if you have any lines in here that are going off the side of the screen because they're too long, you can just feel free to enter them down a line. This way it is nice and easy to read. Again, this is not required, but it is typically a good thing to keep your code clean. Places like this where the code is going off the screen can be complicated to read and debug because you have to be scrolling and keeping track of where you were. So often it is easier to enter it down like this so that we can keep everything within view of the screen. So there we are. Now, with that removed, we have to go into baseplayercontroller.cpp and baseplayercontroller.h. So in baseplayercontroller.cpp, you'll see that we have this setup input component function, and this is where we bind our actions to functions. So when an input action is pressed, or an input axis is pressed, we call a certain function. In here, we had both of our move right types. So we had move right P1 and we had move right controller. Move right P1 was the keyboard version and move right controller was the controller version. So move right P1 here was useful for when we had keyboard mode. This would only bind the move right function to the first player. And player 2 on keyboard mode would handle their inputs a little bit differently. The move right controller was being bound to each because anytime this would be bound, it would just work since you can't have multiple players on one controller since there's not enough inputs. And we want to keep this behavior, so to do so we need to update the way we call move right and move right controller, now just move right, from our player controller. So let's scroll down to call move right, and you'll see here before in call move right it was just checking if possessed pawn and then using the possessed pawn to call move right. Now it is checking if possessed pawn and if the input device is not a gamepad. We're checking for this because we're changing out the difference between the controller and the gamepad. It's still good to know if the input device is a gamepad or a controller, but we want them to route to the same function. However, if we're calling the move right function through the player controller, we still only want to do that if we're not on a gamepad. If we're not on a gamepad, and really this is useful for our keyboard mode again. This is something that we wouldn't really need if we didn't have to support multiple characters on the same keyboard, but I think we should support that. I love that feature. I want to keep that. So this is a good way of doing so. Now the other one that we have to handle is call move right controller, which is 2 functions below this. And you can see I've updated the if possessed pawn here to have an additional thing in the check, if possessed pawn and if is input device gamepad. So opposite of move right, we want to make sure that if we're using move right controller, that this device is a gamepad. This will stop any duplicate calls from both move right or move right controller. But additionally, in move right controller, we now need to change our function. Possessed pawn can no longer call move right controller, possessed pawn can only call move right. So don't forget about that part. Make sure we update it so that call move right controller calls just move right, because move right controller doesn't exist anymore. Additionally, we can support the 3D Fighter mini-series here too, using the same method. So we don't have a move forward 3D and move forward 3D controller, but if you did want to use that method for this, and we probably should, then you would want to check for if the input device is not a gamepad in the non-controller version. So again, we don't have a controller version, but because of that, we should add this check in here just so that we're thinking ahead. So if possessed pawn and if not, or exclamation mark, is input device gamepad, to update our call move forward 3D. Then when we're done with this, we can go ahead and launch the editor again. And now when we come into our game here, we can go into versus, select our characters. Everything should still work as expected. So at this point, I can control player 1 with my keyboard and player 2 with my keyboard, and their inputs are not intersecting with each other. They are working as expected. This is good. Now let's try out controllers. So if I take my controller here and plug it in, after testing that did not work, of course, because there was something I forgot in the move right function in our character. So we want to go back there and we want to look at this line right here. If not controller is input device gamepad. So remember, we're accounting for this in the player controller now, but we don't want to account for this in the move right function itself now because we removed the move right controller function from the character. And this was doing the opposite check. So since they're both using this function now, it won't work for controllers with this line in here. So just completely remove this if statement and the corresponding brackets. At this point, I'm just doing some cleanup with the spacing, but after testing again with controllers, now everything worked as expected. You should be able to connect and disconnect controllers and everything should work. And there we go, guys. Now we have the ability to move right with keyboards and controllers using one function, just move right. So I consider this much cleaner than the previous methods and a lot less complex. If you enjoyed this episode and it helped you out, please subscribe. It does more for myself and the channel than anything else you can do, and I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel further, you can check out my Patreon, YouTube membership, or Discord subscriptions to get some benefits. If you ran into any problems while following this tutorial or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. There is a link in the description, and I would be happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.